guys, it's Naomi with Sword and Steel, and
hey, it's Melody with Sword and Steel.
Yes, Melody is back with me to have a chat about wargaming.
Yeah.
First off, I think I've actually already answered this in a previous video, which I will be right above Melody's head right about now. But I'll reiterate it then. But in case you want to skip by that part, Melody can talk first about how did you get into tabletop wargaming. That's what has been on a lot of people's minds. How did we get into tabletop wargaming? And while she's doing that, as you can see, we have some stuff in front. Melly's going to be assembling some of her...
Oh, well, right now I have some of the Melusai, and then I also have some of the witch elves. Kind of some of one kit, some of another. Lots of snakes. Yeah.
And I am going to be assembling these penitent engines. So cool. Also, I'm probably going to magnetize them so that they can turn into penitent engine or mortifiers. So penitent engines are the melee ones, mortifiers are the, that's right.
Well, look at that. Look at the little
You missed a lot, Melly. So, and mortifiers are the long distance versions of the penitent engines.
Okay.
Yes. I think there's, it's been a while since I read the rules now, but I'm pretty certain they're still nasty in combat anyway. But yeah, they've got some long range stuff, so I'm excited for that. And I'm going to open that up and listen to you while you tell us, how did you get into tabletop wargaming? How did it come about and all that jazz?
Well, I guess I've always really had an enjoyment for small figures and like little things like dioramas, things that are making habitats and stuff like that. And when I was younger, I regret not knowing about this whole world because I feel like I would have super been into it when I was a kid. But yeah, I actually didn't really see a lot of Warhammer stuff until I really started working.
Yep.
And then it was
the same way.
I found some of my first ships were on days that we were having kind of Warhammer stuff, and I can remember seeing everyone come with all their kits, and one of the first lines I saw was the sisters, and they had me with all of their everything. I saw the Exorcist tank, and I was like, I need that.
Oh yeah, that was all right. You're right. Yeah. I think my thing to get into sisters actually was either the Sisters Repentia, scantily clad ladies with chainswords.
I also really like those miniatures. I didn't understand anything about them at the time, but I really liked the unified, the whole setup.
Or it was just the prettiness of the penitent engine. Yeah. Just that pretty lady on a enormous tank. But yeah, I also like the Exorcist. But I think it was the penitent engine.
Yeah.
Or the Sisters Repentia that really got me into it. Sorry, let me let you continue.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, it's funny because as you're mentioning those two, I remember those being some of the first things that I recognized, right? The penitent engine. I was like, that is a crazy object. What is this? And the Sisters Repentia, I saw them very first, but didn't really know even what army they belonged to, right? But I remember
Did they belong to an army back then?
I literally thought they were for D&D when I first saw them. I was like...
some cool D&D miniatures.
Well, I've always wanted, to be... especially when we did, the Roman campaign. It'd be so cool. One of the ladies with the whip as, the headmaster of the leader.
Yeah, she would definitely make a good D&D model.
Yeah. I think having family that were religious and seeing a lot of that and then and do my own thing, it definitely made the sisters really, really entertaining for me.
Oh yes, I can see that.
I was like,
burn the heretics.
Well, I mean the organ that shoots fire.
Oh, that was awesome.
I was like, oh hell yeah. Oh. Yeah, and I think that was so I had the interest for that was a faction that I was interested in. And then seeing the different terrain pieces and stuff like that, I'm trying to remember what might have been at the table that I would have seen first, but seeing all of the different terrain pieces and environments, and now all the stuff I've seen since then is like, ooh, if I could have shown me a few years ago the like water effects and like all the cool stuff that exists now that like we played around with and stuff that I have yet to see. And
one thing I think that sets brand new players back is thinking that they have to stick to the color scheme of the boxes.
Yeah.
And so if they don't like the box art or the box color scheme, they're like, I guess I don't really like that army. But it's like, oh my gosh, your army's look completely changes depending on the color scheme. You do not have to stick to the box art color scheme. Go with your own thing. I mean, you're not sticking it. Your ladies are far different from that. And that's when I'll put up a screenshot of what your girl looks like.
Yeah.
To that.
Yeah. I was thinking that too. Yeah, I feel like, because and funny thing about the daughters, we got them in as a new line, and then the first kit I saw before I even looked at these like smaller boxes, I saw the Morathi, both versions, and I was like, ooh, but I like, for some reason I pictured her with the same color that I've like done on my Warcry snakes, and I always picture them really like neon-y and kind of crazy. I guess if I was to compare them to another faction's stereotypical colors or more canon colors, it'd probably be more like Tzeentch. You know what I mean? With their wild and their blues and their purples and neonies, but kind of their own thing. But I started to think about it more. Oh, do I want to do them like the box? And I was like, no, I want to stick to the thing that I saw first in my head, because then it's like, you don't always have to be that. Not that the box art doesn't look awesome, because I looked at that multiple times and went, well, maybe I want like another set that's the same thing, but they look like these guys.
That was, definitely one of my things that made me hesitate going into it originally was the fact that there was no like big color scheme that really caught my eye. It was like I had this wall where you have to stick to the color scheme on the box and that's it. But when that wall broke and knowledge came in, it was like, heck yeah. And now I look at, now every time a new model is out, I don't see the color at all. I see the model. So it's an entirely different thing. Now I can, and of course I have stories on most everything. Every different army has a story behind it now. And if there's a story behind it, I think you get attached to it more. It's just, well, that's how I work anyway.
Yeah. Funny, I haven't played them much myself yet, but even and you mentioned that, like having a story you attach to, like, I don't know if I would have given the, I think it's the Fire Slayers for Sigmar, as much credit, until I heard about the is it the 1,000-Year War?
I think so. I know what you're talking about.
Someone had explained to me the war over the beards and the whole story, and I was like, oh my god. So like I used to think they were cool, and then like I was kind of like, that's cool, that's someone else's faction, maybe I'll play them someday, whatever. And then I was like, oh, these guys have like zest.
Yeah, I understand. So yeah, you have to get on those Fire Slayers then.
Yes.
It's so cute. Are you gonna do? So you know they've got their iconic orange hair with the mohawk. Would you stick to that, or are you going to do something different if you did their hair? Because I guess it would be a really tough decision, because I mean their hair is so iconic, but the possibilities.
And so my first thought is like getting a squad of them with the hair that goes up and painting them like the trolls.
Oh, you mean rainbows? All of them different, one of them completely sparkly?
I think that would be awesome. And I feel like when I feel that, people wouldn't expect it, and they would be like, what?
Melody, what have you done? My eyes!
It's part of the tactic. You get in their heads with the cute stuff. They're like, why'd you do this to a model? Why you make them all colorful and cute? And it's so distracting that you don't see the schemes.
Oh, right. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I just, yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I just opened up some new tufts that someone gave us. And they are pink and blue. So just putting it out that they exist.
Oh, that's exciting.
So I also have pretty yellow flowers from Army Painter. And I've got...
those are nice.
Yes, those are so pretty. I've got... And like...
Oh my gosh,
green.
look!
Yeah. But there's... I also now have tufts that are bright purple and bright blue. Because it's alien. I suppose it wouldn't really... no. I was thinking I was going to use it for something in 40K. Because it's like alien style.
Space age, yeah. Mutated plant, cute plant.
But there's magic.
Yeah.
In Age of Sigmar, so it worked. I think like tiny bits of it in amongst brown would look really nice.
Yeah.
So quite soon, we will be getting more Warcry Warband cards. And you know what's been missing all this time from Warcry? You've played them in Age of Sigmar.
The Sylvaneth?
Yes!
Oh my god!
Yes, right?
Yeah! I was like hesitant, I was like, it can't be, right? Yeah! Of course, the first thing I thought of was the Bone Reapers when you mentioned Glenn, too, so I pictured like...
So, actually, the Bone Reapers just came out. I have them right behind me.
Oh my god! So both of those things!
Right, so we can actually play Warcry with Ossiarch Bone Reapers versus Sylvaneth. Anything versus Sylvaneth, really.
Cool.
Yes, Sylvaneth are coming. Also, there's more Stormcast Eternals coming, so yay, more Stormcast Eternals. And there was something else that I was... Oh yeah, Khorne. There's going to be Khorne too. So
that is...
my Khorne.
There are a lot of options then when it comes to Khorne in Warcry.
Oh yeah, and Jason got his Caradron Overlord cards too, which I don't remember if I've told you yet, but yeah.
Oh,
Caradron Overlord, Skydwarps.
Yes, so I haven't seen them in play at all, but either you mentioned it to me or he mentioned it to me, but it was very quick, like it was something in passing, just that the cards existed, and I remember being like, oh my god, but yeah, I definitely didn't know about the Bone Reapers, and I definitely didn't know about the Sylvaneth stuff. It's very exciting.
So they're not out yet, but they're gonna be soon. Oh, and there was one other thing, that was actually the secondary thing that I saved to tell you, because I thought, so this is not part of your army, but you might change your mind. Where's Alright, so I wanted to save your initial reaction. If you don't actually have a if you don't have a special reaction to it, I'll probably just delete this entire part. Alright. So this is a new model that's coming out. There are 2 variants of way you could do it. Here it is.
Oh, look.
And here's its other version.
Oh, majestic. Ooh.
Right?
Oh, was that his whole mouth? Is he like... Oh, look at him. So he's the Che?
He's Slaves of Darkness, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Look at that. Oh.
Or a beast in Warcry. Or a monster in Warcry, I should say. Yeah.
I like
awesome.
that.
Look
Yeah. That is really cool. Oh my god, look at him. Look at him.
At least I'm pretty certain that's what it said. Yeah, so it says you could do Warcry games, or it's called the Mindstealer Pharynx. Warcry games, or Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Slaves of Darkness. Or allied. But you'd have to be allied to Chaos, so... That means my Khorne can take them. I mean, your Khorne if you want to play.
Oh man.
Bloodthirsters and Sphinx.
Oh!
Actually, come to think of it, the Chimera that I did,
Yeah.
Slave to Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Every single Warcry original warband, Slave to Darkness.
Oh, really?
Right?
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So Sphinx, also Slave to Darkness. That means 2 big guys and a whole bunch of little guys. I don't know how playable that list would be, but flavor it would have.
Yes. Does that mean that war muffin
That's right.
could be with Sphinx?
Yes, that's right. They're in the same army.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I'm excited about that. So that's not out yet, no?
No, it's coming out.
Okay.
I was this weekend. I think it's next
okay,
weekend.
like very soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, next weekend, I think. It says, I've just forgotten already. More news this time around, blah, 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 blah. What's more, next weekend will be the release of 2 hotly anticipated new monster kits. Yeah, I completely skipped over this guy because he's cool, but you know.
Cool too. Yeah, no, cool too, but like, you know me.
That one I saved over. Between the 2 different reactions. I mean, he's a pretty awesome looking creature.
that is a
But he's
cool
not
sculpt.
a Sphinx.
Yeah.
I mean, he's cute, but Sphinx. Look at that. That's good paint job, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh.
Pretty.
I feel like that face might be a little bit more cat-like.
Yeah, I mean, no. Looking at it, looking at the sculpt, we'd have to see, but it's quite possible that you could magnetize it so you could have both faces.
Oh, wouldn't that be cool?
It looks like it. You'd have to check the sculpt, but it kind of looks like it would be pretty straightforward to magnetize it.
Yeah, like it kind of looks like that would be a larger plate. You can find somewhere to like stick that. Yeah.
And the fur, if you had to like green stuff something into to make the magnet stick, the fur looks like it would be really easy to emulate with green stuff.
Yeah, very easy to do a braid. Yeah. A flat braid and kind of like stick it in there.
And it looks like there's 2 different horns.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking that it does look like these are like wider, even though like not just in like like a different direction. I think it's like 2 different sets.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. Like, yeah, we'd have to see.
And the body looks, the body
Pretty
looks
much
the same.
Yeah. The little plate guy is the same too.
Yeah. The standard rock that everyone stands on.
Yeah.
They find the one rock that's around and they stand on it.
Look, this is mine. My whole battle is to protect this.
See?
Yeah. Oh, that is awesome.
Right, so the Ark Revenant is now coming alone too.
Oh,
she used to be only in, I don't remember.
Oh,
Loon Curse? Yeah, Loon Curse.
yes.
She used to only be in
yeah, you could only get her in that
And
kit.
he used to only be in, he used to only be in Feast of Bones.
Oh,
And now
okay.
he's coming alone. All these guys.
I was gonna say the special bone one, like yeah, yes, as the name implies. Yeah. But like, yeah, I can picture it. I think I think Glenn was really excited about that one too when it came out. I'm trying to remember now whether or not he got it, but I heard a lot about it. The Feast of Bones kit around that time and all the special stuff that was exclusive to that.
I of course have the Bone Reapers version.
Yeah.
And Jason took the Ogre
Oh, cool.
Maw Tribes. Ogre Maw Tribes.
Okay.
Why can't I read the book. I can't remember the name on it. The less important version of part of Feast of Bones, that part. I'm not showing my bias at all.
The one that's not mine.
Yeah, no.
That weird other team. Not the home team.
I keep thinking Ogre Kingdoms. That was the fantasy name. What's the new name? The ogres that are the Ogre Kingdoms. Yeah, those ones.
Yeah.
Look at this. I did not know that. Look, you could have a sarcophagus in front instead of, the man. Yeah, I think I'm going to put the females in if I'm going to put them in because it does seem wrong to me to have the only male in my entire army, the one
the slave.
Right.
Yeah. I picture like you put like a tiny font, like fast text, like under like the we do not condone harm to men or to any humans of any kind.
That would be pretty cute.
We only want to spread love in the 40th century.
That's right. Yes, we want to spread love. We want to spread love with the flame.
With the flamethrowers. Turn this book because I keep screwing myself up.
Yeah,
I'm on the other page.
Totally not.
Yeah, like I got a couple pieces out. I was like, yeah, progress.
Right. So my turn then. For how I got into gaming. Again, I put it in that, but just a short story, which will definitely turn into a long story. I started by joining in Dungeons & Dragons campaigns, and people were building, when it wasn't their turn, they were building Warhammer models.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that looks interesting. What are you doing over there? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then someone wanted only half of an assault on Blackreach, and I was like, well, it's time. So I got the other half, which were orcs, and I chose orcs because they would be easy to paint.
They're fun.
Yeah. And that's how I started, and then I went from orcs to nothing for a while because of university.
Yeah.
And I was big on magic at the time.
Yeah.
So magic, Dungeons and Dragons, and university was just all that I had time for. And then went into Sisters, went into AdMech, went into Age of Sigmar, tried out Blackstone Fortress, which I love. Awesome.
That is lots of fun.
Age of Sigmar, Sylvaneth were my first army, and then Stormcast Eternals, and then Khorne, and then random things that I just wanted to paint. And then and then now I really skipped a few years, but now we're into Warcry, and I'm expanding out further. I think I missed an army. Oh, right, Night Hunt. Contrast paints.
Made for a speedy process in the painting and the
Contrast paints was Night Hunt.
Yeah.
Contrast paints and Night Hunt came along. Ghosts in the instant? Yes, please. Oh, right. And I was able to finish off this guy.
Oh, look.
So this is going to be my next paint with me.
Wow.
It just took me a long time to paint, which means that it is going to take me a long time to edit. Yeah. I have to edit it out all the times where I stopped talking and just was painting, forgetting myself.
Yeah. I know at one point, definitely, like in the conversation here, I definitely once or twice, I'm like, hard concentration face.
Actually take something off the screen.
Yeah, like that required some solid concentration. That looks awesome. I mean, look at it. I like the chassis. Would that be the right word? I like this. The actual carriage too. It's cool.
Yeah, this is well, I guess it would be the coach, but yeah.
Yeah.
And I also made him.
Oh. I was like, oh.
I'm glad I got that reaction on camera.
Yeah.
That's right.
I was like, ah.
I just tear him apart.
And I made him so that you just split him in pieces and all of them.
There we go. See?
Oh, so, cool.
There. That's how one would magnetize.
Yeah, so he would have the scythe, or he wouldn't.
So he has either his Soul Reach Grasp, which is a ranged attack.
Okay.
Which I thought would be kind of neat. Or he has his Reaper Scythe, which is, of course, a melee attack. I hadn't decided which one I wanted, so I did both. And I'm very happy that you would watch. I got you.
Well, it looks so good. Like, you'd never tell it was in multiple pieces.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. All right, but I haven't figured out what to do with this thing while I'm not using it.
Oh,
so it needs just sticking in with these pieces.
Ah, I getcha, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm supposed to play a game with Mia. And this is a reminder, if Mia's watching, that my guy's done. I'm waiting for her to finish her L'Oreal.
Okay. Oh.
And so I finished the black coach. On the other hand, she's not using contrast paints. And I did. So her classical method is going to probably take a fair bit longer.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get one thing cut off, I tell you.
I'm going to at least get one snake together, I tell you.
So I asked our patrons if they had any questions for us.
Yeah.
And, well, for the most part, it was how we get into gaming. So we answered that. Check.
Yeah.
And then most people were like, they just wanted to hear us chat and didn't have anything in mind in particular. But there was also one person who was like, because it's been so long since we've done anything Warcry, they're like, are you going to do any more Warcry stuff? And maybe we'll see some more warbands. And the answer to that is yes.
Yes. It definitely is.
Yes, it's happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff to check out now, new stuff and like new rules and new warbands that have been added to, so that'll be cool to check out.
Yes. So the next thing that we're gonna do is Age of Sigmar, and we really want to get into 40k. I think we're gonna start with a small little battle report because we're a bit rusty.
Yeah.
I haven't played for a while. We should probably start practicing.
Yeah.
To get us back in the game, because there's been new errata too that I haven't paid much attention to.
That always catches me too, especially like I turn my back for a minute and there's like new rules and I'm like, I gotta recollect my thoughts.
Yes, and when you're playing like 6 different kinds of games, it's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah.
Right, and there was also questions on whether we would be getting into historical games. I certainly plan to. I don't know if Melody is planning to join me with that or not, but I'm definitely going to try for some more historical games this year. Bolt action will be a thing. I just have to get a partner. I don't know if you're up for trying a new game or not. It's all right. I can search around.
I'm gonna put it in the bin of heaven and check it out because I know some of that stuff super sticks and some of that stuff super doesn't. But I like really have the appreciation for it and like definitely for the like historical, like the sculpts and the true to life accuracy. Yeah. But some of it I find like sometimes I'm too all over the place.
Right, and
we shall see.
I still have to try out the game SPQR. I have to finish painting those minis.
That also sounds like a lot of fun. I know we were looking at that one when that came in.
So there's so much to do and so little time to do it.
Yeah. The want is strong. The sleep hours are weak. The day does not allow for as much time to do all the things.
Unfortunately, we do have day jobs. And they require time. One day, maybe this could be a day job, but is not yet, and therefore money must be made in some way. Though this helps pay some of the bills, so thank you for that. Thank you for all the support that you have given to the channel. It has been very helpful, and now I'm making certain to spend a little bit of time each day to help the channel get better. And I am absolutely working on the paint with me that is overdue. I just need to edit it, and editing takes a long time. And sometimes I get tired because I'm all doing this in the nighttime.
But if this one goes up first, now they have a sneak peek.
That's right.
That is true.
They know what it's going to look like.
It's going to be all exciting.
I hope you liked how it looks like.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'm going to be doing a paint with me and it's going to be like, maybe this is a good idea. Before I finish the editing of the Paint Me, it's like, Naomi, don't bother. I don't like the look of it.
Oh, no. No.
I'd be like, I'm so sad, but I guess that saves me time.
Thank you for your conservation of film. I couldn't even think of what else to add. Just like,
I appreciate criticism.
Yeah.
It's always nice to hear honest remarks. Nearly always nice to hear honest remarks. Can't be completely honest. 29. All right, you have a chat about something to do with wargaming while I've cut out my first piece.
Oh, okay. So I'm excited to see all of the new, well, I feel like there's probably been new additions for like all of the factions, but I know like the whole Sisters release happened, and that was like definitely a thing that I was excited for, and I'm still excited for, but got like pushed behind with my own stuff. So now I'm like coming back in and I'm like, oh my god, look at all this stuff. Look at all this new stuff. Whoa, I never saw that before. That's the new version of that? Whoa.
So what have you seen of the Sisters? Have you been up on it at all, or is all of it new? Like, have you seen what St. Catherine?
I've seen the new like when they released the special edition kit.
Okay.
And with the collector's edition book and the dice and stuff like that.
So
But I haven't seen the new releases beside that. Beside actually a couple images of Junith.
I've nicknamed her the Vulcan.
Oh.
And I'm going to paint her hair black.
Oh my god.
It is not in the lore, but that's all I see when I look at her.
What if you green stuff? Look at the tiny hand.
Awesome. I wonder if she has different ways of putting up her hand. Oh, look. Oh, she's got a little helmet on. Okay, I kind of like the helmet too, though. I mean, I like the idea of the Vulcan.
Yeah.
But she also has a cute little helmet.
That does look good. Yeah.
And look, her face is actually feminine. It's nice to see a sister. There it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Vulcan.
And that means, I think her eyebrows might even, her eyebrows definitely come up into that, so.
Oh, yes.
So maybe I might have to do that, yeah. And the other ones, like, they look pretty, standard sisters. But the St. Catherine looks pretty awesome. Okay. Not done yet. Because I kept them separate for painting. So this is what this whole model looks like. And it's gonna, so each one represents a different order of Sisters of Battle. So I'm going to paint each one of them the colors of their order.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Because they're all supposed to be spirits of the 6 martyrs. And that is actually the bones of one of the martyrs. That is St. Catherine. Right?
No.
And her heart in back is still beating.
Oh, well, that's a plus. My reaction was I was thinking she was dead.
Her heart is still beating. She was so holy a character that her heart is still beating. I mean, I kind of feel like there might be some mechanical inside, but no one. That's heresy.
there's a teeny ad mech in there.
That's heresy. That's my AdMech background.
Yeah.
But no, it's the holiness of her.
Yeah.
And the glory of the emperor that's keeping that heart beating. Boop, boop. I forget the fact that these cherubs are part AdMech. It's fine. It's the glory of them.
Yeah. Maybe it was one of their doing.
The cherubs are a pretty cool part of the Sisters of Battle Army now. I'm creeped out by cherubs, but they have cool effects. On the plus side for me, the to use the cherub's ability, you remove the cherub from play. So
you take them all away.
no problem there.
Yeah. Very cool. That is going to be something.
You want to know how I put that together? It'll just be about melodies.
Yeah,
I also do the history of the St. Catherine in the video. So
cool. That is definitely to go and one to go and watch and hear the cool lore and see all the. Wow, I really like that kit. It has this like grandeur, just primed. So like I can imagine when you have it all like painted and stuff, it's gonna be crazy.
Oh my gosh, I got to get you over more often. I get so much work done while I'm chatting with you.
I was trying to think of something along the lines of, yeah, I mean, I'm done for a month. Like, I just need to like clear these snakes away. Like,
actually, we didn't talk about what we're going to do right next.
Oh yes, yeah.
So we thought we would sit down and chat about wargaming for a bit, and then after that, we're going to do a battle
report.
Yeah, we're going to do an Age of Sigmar battle. It's just going to be 1,000 points, meeting engagement.
Yeah.
Of Khorne versus Sylvaneth with
Gotrek Gurnison.
with a very angry dwarf.
With an angry dwarf.
Because Melody wants to try out Gotrek Gurnison, and I want to try out the new Bloodlords faction thing for Khorne. That kit just came out of the new book for Chaos. Wrath of the Everchosen has a new faction called the Bloodlords, which make bloodthirsters. Right. And you don't remember what bloodthirsters look like. So I told her I was going to use bloodthirsters, and she's like, okay. And I'm like, that's a muted reaction. I bet she doesn't remember which ones are the bloodthirsters, because Khorne have bloodthirsters, blood reavers, blood warriors, blood secrator, blood crushers, blood letters, bloodthirsters.
I tell you, I certainly wouldn't be surprised if I'm confusing my bloods.
That's 8 that I can think of. No, that one has a bringer. Everbringer. Yeah. So I think I've covered the blood of the blood. Oh right, and they're bloodbound. Khorne bloodbound. And of course I have to pay attention to the blood test.
we can't.
So for some reason, Melody doesn't remember which one are bloodthirsters. So I'm going to leave it, and she's going to be wondering. And in a moment, well, I guess in the battle report, you'll see her reaction to which ones are the bloodthirsters.
So I must say now, I do wonder, like, I definitely feel like I'm probably confusing my bloods. I do have a little worry that it's one of the bigger guys and I'm forgetting about it. But I also, like, I'm gonna wait because, like, why would you be negative if I'm hopeful? Maybe it'll be the guys I'm picturing and not the guys that I'm hoping it's not, that I didn't think that it...
So tell me, if you were to describe a bloodthirster right now, what would it be like? Okay,
so, like, a muscly chest, and like little demony hornies, and like a mask, and like a shieldy guy, and many muscles, and many rips and tears in the fleshes. Angry guy.
You know what? Other than the shield and the mask, it's like you described every which is, I didn't even notice, but that is hilarious.
Yeah, because I'm here like trying to give you full detail too, like, oh yeah, and he's got this muscle, and he's got this sword, and he's got these like horns, and like,
yeah. Go on. Okay.
Human looking.
Yeah.
The size of the... I can't remember his like the model's name, but I remember his name. Like I'm picturing like Steve in Warcry.
Ah, yeah.
But as the as a corn guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of those guys painted with the contrast paint with the ones that I'm thinking of with the muscles. So that's probably why it's like sticking out in my head.
I think it's time we played our battle report.
Yeah. I am feeling it breathing down my neck. I don't know which case it's coming from.
All right, I don't know if this was useful to you at all, but I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Hope that you guys had fun. Enjoyed our little chat.
If you did enjoy it, by all means, comment below and say so. Well, I really appreciate for watching.
Yeah, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
And we'll see you in a little bit with our battle report. Bye.
Bye.